Okay, and this one, let's go ahead and look at the graph. Now notice how this equation is in terms of x. In terms of x means x is the only variable to the right of the equal sign. And y equals 0 is this line here, so the shaded area will be right here. Now the question is asking me to go perpendicular to the y-axis, which means I'm going sideways now. And these here, you have to envision half of a circle coming up off of these diameters here. So first of all, a semicircle, the area is half pi r squared. Well, before I get to radius, you got to realize that this here is a diameter. So the diameter is the very right side minus the very left side. Well, I don't know the right side equation and the left side equation because I'm not in the correct terms. So now I need to rewrite this so that I can get rid of it being in terms of x and having it in terms of y. So I'm going to go ahead and write y minus 4, get rid of the negative 1, get rid of the squared, so I'm going to square root both sides, and I get a plus or minus 4 minus y. So the very right side here is 4 minus y square root. This very left side is the negative of that. So when I go right to left, I'm going to end up getting 2 of those because you're going to add them together. But that's the diameter. So the radius is half of that. Well, half of that would just be this. So now I go to take the integral. Inside the integral, it's the area of the semicircle. So half pi, your radius, squared. Now my limits are y limits. Okay, so the very bottom side of the y, lowest y is a 0. And what's this right here? Well, that's a 4. And if we were doing this by hand, it would be easy. We would bring the 1/2 pi out. We would square this. If you're doing it in the calculator, just type it in. Let's do this one by hand. If you square the square root, you'll get this. Take the integral of 4. Take the integral of y. Leave this out until the end. Plug in a 4, so 4 times 4 is 16. 4 squared is 16, divided by 2 is 8. You'll get 8. There's no point in plugging in 0. So my integral's answer is 8. But I brought down that half pi, so multiply that by half pi and you would get 4 pi. Try it in the calculator now. Now remember that when you type these in your calculator, even though there's a y variable, as long as all the y variables match up and everything's set up alright, you can plug them in the calculator, but just use the letter x.